it's not really about the tech. It's about the behaviors that people are able to facilitate. And when it comes to blockchain, one of the biggest things that people almost miss is what are the use cases that people are using and what are the efficiencies that are being provided. We go, oh, the tech provides this, the tech provides that, and tech provides this. When I talk to businesses, all they care about is the efficiency. All they care about is their bottom line. All they care about is being able to run their product, run their service, run their whatever, and being able to do that effectively.
You know it. I threw my microphone in the face of Quincy Jones as soon as I got to the XRP Las Vegas conference. Quincy Jones is a prominent developer from the industry. He's a specialist on the XDC blockchain. The XDC blockchain is an enterprise-grade ISO 20022 compliant EVM-compatible protocol that's leading the charge for the trade finance industry. Let's listen to what Quincy had to say. Thanks for tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, to my left is Quincy Jones, the #1 developer at the XDC Foundation. I'm not mistaken, am I, Quincy?
I don't believe you are. How are you doing, Ray?
I'm doing very well, sir. It's great to see you here at XRP Las Vegas 2024, the biggest XRP conference in the world. Quincy, what brings you here to the XRP conference? Understanding you are a prestigious developer on the XDC blockchain.
Yeah, so I'll actually be speaking on cross-blockchain intercommunications, especially talking about bridges and talking about the different behaviors between the people on different networks, in terms of being able to bring assets to different networks, and in terms of being able to expand the total amount of liquidity between all the different people on all these different blockchains. Sorry, that was a little much.
On the topic of that, because I know in order to expand these networks and bring more utility and volume, it all starts with the developer community. So what in your mind's eye, or based on your experience, what strides have led to see more adoption or bringing more manpower to either XDC or even XRP blockchain?
Yeah. So one thing that we've been doing for a while, at least XDC and the XDC Foundation, is we've been participating and judging in a lot of different hackathons. ETH Global New York, ETH Toronto, ETH Denver, and a couple other ones as well, and trying to use those as a recruitment tool for people to actively build on XDC and then support those developers that are building on XDC. Now, we're also helping different organizations and institutions adopt the technology as well. But one thing that we ended up finding, especially when it comes to institutions versus developers, is they have all the resources and even have a solution that they want to implement, but they don't have the talent and they don't necessarily have the know-how. They know the technology can help them in some capacity, but these are also the same sort of business people that aren't necessarily sure on the traditional technologies that they're using. So the big thing about blockchain is allowing there to be able to be a talent pool that can be easily accessible for new businesses to be able to tap into, as well as people to be able to start their own businesses, to be able to build on these different networks. So right now, whether we go to hackathons and try to interact with individual developers, or whether we try to go to independent businesses and try to get them developers so they can build on chain.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing, Quincy. Anything that you in particular are excited to share? Like maybe you're working on your SDK still at this time?
Yeah, actually. So one thing that I'm actually working in sort of alongside that is, it's not quite an SDK, but it's an API. And really all it is, and going into that issue with the businesses, it's a tool that allows businesses to interact with blockchain technology without necessarily having to hold the tokens themselves to do so. There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of managing tokens for gas. There's a lot of stuff that goes into just being able to interact with the blockchain. And I built a tool that allows businesses to be able to take their traditional tech stacks and be able to interact with blockchain tech without necessarily having to go through the process of buying and holding all these different tokens to do so.
Exactly. It's almost like, do you foresee this movement of like a white glove service where you're going to have prominent individuals or players from the community where they're building out these tool sets for these non-specialized blockchains, or let's just call them traditional firms that want to step their toe into this new and emerging space and leverage these products?
Yeah, so I actually think it's going to be very similar to how cloud operates. So when you look at cloud, whether it's AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, it's usually a set of resources, and businesses can tap into those resources to be able to build out their business solutions. I think blockchain is going to be a little bit more like that, but sort of in a decentralized sense. So instead of one centralized hub of all these resources, there'll be a decentralized set of resources that you can tap into to be able to utilize in your business to be able to create some sort of productivity. And I think the biggest thing in terms of all of that is, at least that makes it more unique than cloud, is cloud has to be hosted by some organization, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Microsoft. These resources in the blockchain are hosted on these decentralized networks. So you don't need an organization to facilitate these resources. Once you have access to the blockchain, you can access all the resources that people have been able to deploy there.
All the resources that you've been so fortunate to develop for the community at large.
I wish. There are plenty of other people like me that are also contributing as well. So,
Awesome of you, Quincy. Hey, well, you're going to be up on stage here at XRP Las Vegas. Anything that you would like to share with the audience, maybe before you step on stage here today?
Yeah. So one thing I sort of want to emphasize, especially when it talks about the future of blockchain, we talk so much about the tech. This is like my meme right now. It's not really about the tech. It's about the behaviors that people are able to facilitate. And when it comes to blockchain, one of the biggest things that people almost miss is what are the use cases that people are using and what are the efficiencies that are being provided. We go, oh, the tech provides this, the tech provides that, and tech provides this. When I talk to businesses, all they care about is the efficiency. All they care about is their bottom line. All they care about is being able to run their product, run their service, run their whatever, and being able to do that effectively. And I think we need to be focused more on the solutions that are being provided by these technologies, and less on what particular technology does what. It sounds goofy, but it's almost like saying, "Hey, can you describe a pickup truck to me?" Well, yeah, if you have a pickup truck, you have a bed in the back and you can drive it around. And but what if I went to technical and said, "Well, a pickup truck is a V8, cylinder with spark plugs," and it's like, I'm sorry, that doesn't really describe what you're doing with the pickup truck. Yeah, we're breaking down the pickup truck. And I see people do this in crypto. Well, they'll break down the crypto, but not break down the activity. If I wanted to say, what are you going to do with the pickup truck? Look, you're going to load a bunch of stuff in the back. Maybe it's like some equipment or construction stuff. Maybe you're like an outdoorsy type person. You have a pickup truck, you throw stuff in the back, that's what you use it for. Not, well, it's a V8, whatever. But yeah, we got to focus on what people are doing with the technologies, not what the technologies can do in a weird way. And people may go, what is that? Trust me, once someone builds a solution, once someone builds a product, we're not focusing on the technology of the product. We're focusing on the product. If I built an app in AWS, you're not going, oh, Quincy built this brilliant app in the cloud. You're going, no, it's a social media application. Like, you see what I mean?
On that point, when you are building these solutions for these enterprise customers, would you be able to share who those enterprise customers or what type of enterprise customers would be seeking these type of technology stacks?
Yeah, so one of the first things that we're seeing in terms of the new wave of adoption, and you hear this a lot too, real world assets. Any sort of organization that has the legal right to deal with some sort of real world asset are the first organizations that we're seeing come on board. I say this because there are a lot of tech companies, right? A lot of developers, a lot of really smart people. But just because you're in tech doesn't give you the legal right to manage the underlying assets. So this is where you start getting into FINRA. This is where you start getting into all of those different, like the Series 7, the Series exams, to have the legal right to manage these things. So right now, there are a bunch of organizations that have the legal right to manage the assets. They need to adopt the technology to give them a higher level of efficiency when managing those assets.
Excellent. Now, I know you're a busy guy, Quincy. You typically have a sea of people around you, so I appreciate you sharing your time with me, sir, and your expertise. Is there anything last moments that you'd like to share with the audience before I let you go?
Yeah. Welcome to XRP Las Vegas. We're gonna have a good one.
Woo! You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Quincy. I hope you have a great rest of your day, sir.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
What an interview. Quincy, thank you for sharing your time with me, brother. I always have a good time getting to know you and the cutting edge technology that you're working on. I hope you and the team have the best of luck and safe travels around the world as you go from hackathon to hackathon. And again, sir, I appreciate you. And thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you learned something because of this interview. And if you did, feel free to share this video, leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel, D for all the above, because it really helps me get this channel off the ground. And again, none of this is financial advice for me or anyone else. This is just for entertainment purposes. So thank you all for tuning in. Love you mucho.